Hello!
Ahoy!
Welcome to Season 3, Episode 4?
Yes, indeed.
I'm losing track of time. Episode 4 of Bottom of the Stream. I'm Adam.
I'm Nick.
How are you today, Nick?
Excellent.
Yeah? Still living in lockdown?
Yeah, sun-kissed.
It's beautiful, isn't it? This weather's beautiful.
Loving life.
As always. You always love life.
I know. Try my best.
Any gossip, any news? What's been going on in your life this week?
My hammock turned up.
Oh, did it? How was it?
Brilliant.
Have you fallen asleep in it yet?
No, not yet, because I usually get jumped on by people.
The missus.
It is a chance to be a fine thing. But it's very comfortable. But I have not yet drunk a coffee in the hammock.
Or out of the hammock.
No.
Cool, well, keep us informed. I'd like to know when that happens.
Will do. How about you? How's your week been?
Yeah, not too bad. I've been out in the garden, sorting the garden out. I fixed my decking lights that haven't worked for about 3 years.
Lovely.
So I've got that sort of... There's still 2 that don't work, but they've been bitten through by some sort of rodent, I think. I also washed it down ready to paint it, but I've not got to the painting stage yet.
Okay.
Mainly because I haven't got any paint. It's not an easy thing to get hold of at the minute.
Probably not an essential item.
No, not really. Shall we jump straight into Netflix news?
Let's get right in there.
Oh, no, let me do the socials first.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to forget them again.
Yeah, don't do that.
They're the important bits. Follow us on Twitter at BOTS_podcast is our Twitter name. It's also our Instagram name at BOTS_podcast. And the website is www.bottomofthestream.com. Keep your eye on that because there may be some news coming to the website pretty soon. And Patreon. Follow us on Patreon at patreon.com/bottomofthestream. Where if you give us a little bit of money every month, we'll give you some free shit. Well, it's not free because you have to give us money.
Well, we will give you content.
Content.
And goodies.
Yeah, good stuff.
If you can't do that, then leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser.
Definitely. Especially Podchaser at the minute because they're still giving away their 25 cents to Meals on Wheels for every review that they receive on the site. So
great cause.
Go out there and do that. It's a great cause. And it doesn't cost you a penny. And it helps everybody out. There's no downside to that.
No.
So it's all good. So go and do that.
Most people have got plenty of time on their hands, so yeah.
Absolutely.
Go help out.
I keep meaning to sit down and just review a load of podcasts, but I've not got around to it yet.
Do it.
I will get to it soon. I've got a bit of Netflix news.
Let's go.
Do you remember Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
I do.
Do you remember that it finished last year?
Yeah, I only actually finished it probably about a month to 6 weeks ago. It took us a long time because we were like going back and in and out of it, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
great show.
Enjoy it enough to want more?
I'm not sure about that because I thought the last series was quite a lot of a downward trend from the first 3.
What if I told you that there was an interactive film coming?
I might check that out of pure curiosity.
Well, it is coming. It's an interactive choose-your-own-adventure style story called Kimmy versus the Reverend.
Right.
And that is hitting Netflix on May the 12th, so really soon.
That is soon.
It's a feature-length choose-your-own-adventure type thing, so you basically get to make all the decisions for the characters. All your old friends are there. It's really exciting news. I think it's going to be really good fun, I think.
Is it like Bandersnatch, but with more glitter?
Yeah, Banderschmidt.
Banderschmidt. Very good. That joke's got to be in there somewhere, or I'll be disappointed.
I'm sure it will be. So yeah, they've just released a small teaser trailer earlier today, so check that out. Doesn't really say a lot, but it's quite interesting. I'm quite looking forward to that. I like these interactive film ideas. I think it's a good idea.
You've piqued my interest.
I think Netflix they're onto something a little bit because they haven't really got any competition in that. Nobody can really compete with them in it. I mean,
no, it's not something anyone else has tried really to date.
No, it's a bit of a niche market, so hopefully they'll find some success with it.
Yeah,
excellent. I'm going to quickly run through the top 10 on Netflix UK.
Yeah, it'd be good to do that. This is still quite a recent thing, isn't it? That Netflix have started to quite obviously mark what is in the top 10.
Yeah, they used to be really secretive about ratings.
They did
what people were watching, but they've changed their tune a little bit. So I thought it'd be quite good fun to just go through the top 10, talk about what's at basically this is the top of the stream, isn't it?
Yeah,
doesn't get any more top than this.
Let's go up for air for a little bit.
So number 10 is The Main Event.
Okay, so I've seen the trailer for that, and it looks awful.
It does look awful. It is a wrestling movie.
It's like a Nickelodeon type wrestling thing, isn't it?
Yeah, a kid finds a magical wrestling mask and puts it on and becomes a competitive wrestler and fights in an international tournament. It's full of wrestlers. There's loads of wrestlers in it. I think The Miz is the main one that they advertise. But yeah, that's currently ranked at number 10, so one of us is going to have to check that out at some point.
There's lots of kids at home, I suppose that explains
Yeah, true.
why that might have been rushed out and be doing okay.
Very true. Talking of being at home, number 9 on the list at the minute is Contagion. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I have. So it's quite interestingly that Netflix sort of snaffled this up and put it on, because it's only come to Netflix in the last 3 weeks or so. So it's some very clever or brave marketing, I'm not sure.
Definitely. It's Matt Damon and Lawrence Fishburne.
I think I saw it once quite a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
It's about a global pandemic, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Caused by a virus. Yeah, quite apt at the minute. Yeah, so that's currently ranked at number 9 on the Netflix top 10. Number 8, also wrestling related, is The Big Show Show.
Oh, you touched on this last week.
I hated it so much. I've not gone back to it, and I don't intend to.
I have no desire whatsoever to go and watch this.
Number 7 is Love, Wedding, Repeat.
Okay.
Any ideas?
None whatsoever.
I've never heard of it either. It says, different versions of the same day unfold as Jack juggles difficult guests, unbridled chaos, and potential romance at his sister's wedding.
Is it a sequel to that Tom Cruise movie?
Possibly. It sounds a bit like, what was that time travel-y one that we watched in the first season, when we first met? It sounds a little bit like that.
Yeah. It literally sounds like the plot to that, is it Day of Tomorrow it was called over here?
Yeah.
But I think it was called Live, Die, Repeat in America. The Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt one, yeah.
Well, maybe it is a parody then, because it's called Love, Wedding, Repeat, so possibly. Yeah. Number 6 is Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Excellent. We've talked about our love for this show.
Yeah, we don't need to talk much about Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's obviously in at number 6 because of this new season that's just come out. Same goes for number 5 is Ozark.
Do you know what? I've never seen it.
I watched the first season but never went back to it, and I don't really know why, because I remember quite enjoying it. So I probably will go back to that one day.
I'm really surprised I've never watched it either. Or more specifically, my wife hasn't wanted to watch it because she's got quite a thing for
Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman, yeah.
Yeah, that is surprising. She does love him. That is surprising. Get on it. You've got 3 seasons to watch now.
Yeah, exactly. Stacking up.
Stack it all up. Number 4 is something that's taken the world a bit by storm. Is Money Heist.
Yeah.
I've never watched it. It's a Spanish program, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's season 4 that's just come on.
Again, it's supposed to be really good.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good. I keep meaning to check it out, but I haven't got there yet. What this is proving is that we don't really venture to the top of the stream very much between the two of us.
Not really.
Number 3 is a film, the highest film on the list. It's called Code 8.
Not familiar with that. What's that?
In a city where superpowered people are ostracised, an earnest day labourer considers using his outlawed abilities for money to save his sick mother.
Okay.
Want to know who's in it?
Yeah, go for it.
Robbie Amell.
Really?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
He's in everything. Also, Stephen Amell.
Oh, wow. Double
They're
trouble.
both in it.
So is this an example of something just that you wouldn't necessarily expect to stick around? So you talked a few weeks ago about, was it Girl on the Third Floor?
Yeah.
Which also was quite near the top of Netflix's list for a couple of weeks, wasn't it? And then sort of sank without trace.
Plummeted. Yeah, so maybe this will end up on our list at some point.
I mean, it's not out of the question, definitely.
But it's currently number 3 in the UK, so obviously these are all as of recording day, which is today. Number 2, do you want to have a guess?
Number 2.
It's a TV show.
Is it RuPaul's Drag Race?
No.
Not sure then.
Better Call Saul.
Oh, okay.
I'm up to date with Better Call Saul, and I'll tell you what, this season has been magnificent.
Awesome.
It's almost at Breaking Bad levels now.
Great.
And that's huge for me to say that. That is huge. Because we've said it before, haven't we? Better Call Saul was always a show that we enjoyed, but didn't really look forward to. This week literally got out of bed on Tuesday morning and watched it straight away. I was that ready for it, and it's brilliant.
So here's a question for you.
Go on.
By the end of Better Call Saul,
is
Bob Odenkirk going to be as synonymous with Saul as Bryan Cranston is with Walter White?
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised if it keeps going. There's another this finale of Better Call Saul is next Tuesday, or tomorrow is the day the podcast comes out.
Sure.
And then there's another season. And if it keeps going as good as much as it is doing from this season, then yeah, I can't see why not. I don't think he'll ever break that character now. He'll always be Saul Goodman.
Why? This is a really hard one to answer. Why do you think this hasn't got the same buzz that Breaking Bad did have?
That's a tough question because
sure, at least in the last couple of seasons of Breaking Bad, because Breaking Bad was sort of 3 to 4 seasons in by the time it exploded, wasn't it?
yeah, definitely, but it was consistently brilliant all the way through.
Oh yeah.
Whereas I think Better Call Saul was more of a slow burn. Literally for the first 4 seasons, nothing happened. It was brilliant, but it's more of a slow burning show than Breaking Bad, I think.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why it doesn't quite get the cult following.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Plus, it probably only appeals to people who have watched Breaking Bad. Do you think people who haven't watched Breaking Bad are watching Better Call Saul?
Probably not. I think in a lot of cases, the word prequel puts people off as well.
Yeah, that's possible.
I think that's probably Star Wars' fault. But
yeah.
but I think
just reason.
I think people do tread quite carefully around prequels because there's not that many good ones.
No, that's a good point. So maybe that's part of it as well. But I can't recommend this season highly enough. It is brilliant. The last 2 episodes have been amazing.
Excellent. I've not got to it yet, but I can't wait.
I think you're going to know what number 1 is.
I think I do, because I think it's probably what I've watched this week, and that is Tiger King.
Tiger King is still in at number 1. Now, we said last week that it had been number 1 on Netflix longer than anything had ever been at number 1, and it's still there a week later. And it doesn't appear to be going anywhere.
There was a new episode this week.
There was, yeah. It was more of a couple of Skype calls mixed together.
Yeah. It was an isolation episode / what they did next.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was all right. It wasn't brilliant. But did you say you watched it now?
Yeah. So watched it in the last week since we've last recorded.
Thoughts?
Absolutely insane. And I really want to talk about it in more detail.
So let's do that.
Let's do that. Let's not do it here though.
No, let's not do it here.
Let's do our very first top of the stream bonus episode.
Let's do it. We're going to do a top of the stream special because we're going to get on this. We're going to get on this Tiger King bandwagon and talk about it.
And we've got a lot of time on our hands, so should we make it free to everyone?
Yeah, definitely.
We'll put it up on the main page.
Yeah, we can give the Patreon something else, but
we'll do some other stuff for the Patreon, but we'll do a Tiger King bonus and we'll put it on the main feed.
Yeah.
So look out for that in the next week or so.
Yeah, a couple of days. I'm going to try and get it up midweek. We've not recorded it yet, so it depends how long it goes on for, because they're a bitch to edit at the minute. But yeah, I think it's time that we venture to the top of the stream. So are we going to call it a bottom of the stream, top of the stream special?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Everyone else has had a go at talking about Tiger King, so we'll do that.
Literally, people whose podcasts are not even about TV or films are doing podcasts about Tiger King.
I know. I've got questions.
I haven't got any answers. Yeah. So keep your eyes open for that. That's it'll be a first bonus episode we've done in a while. So it may become a new little series, top of the stream things that we do.
We'll see.
We'll see. If anything takes the world by storm, we'll be on it.
It's out of our wheelhouse, but let's give it a go.
Excellent. I don't think I've watched anything this week. I'm still watching Lost. I just can't stop. Every spare 40 minutes I get, I'm watching it. Oh, I have started rewatching Red Dwarf from the beginning. I noticed that was on Netflix.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't mind doing that.
First 6 seasons are on there. So Dave did a film a few weeks ago, like a feature film.
Right.
Which was really good, actually. And it just got me back into it a little bit, so I thought I'm going to start it. It's good to have a little half an hour show every so often, isn't it?
Do they all follow on? Because I just got lost track of because it moved between channels and I wouldn't know where to start. Obviously, like you say, the first 6 being on Netflix, but then after that it just goes all over the place.
Yeah, it'll be all over the place. I think the rest of it after season 6 will be on Dave's streaming service.
Right, okay.
Is it UK TV Play?
Yeah.
Because Dave brought it, didn't they, off the BBC after a certain time. And I think the rest of it will be on there.
Okay.
But it's consistently good. It's always been good, Red Dwarf. It's one of the best British sitcoms of all time.
Awesome.
Cool. Right, we probably should start talking about this film. We're nearly 20 minutes into the show.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, this week we watched a film called First Match, which is a film from 2018. It is a 15, runs for 1 hour and 42 minutes, and is currently rated at 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb. Another sixer. We need to dive down a bit deeper down the stream, I think. We've done a lot of 6s lately.
Yeah, well, we'll see what we think of it, but certainly the randomizer going by those ratings has been quite kind to us so far this season.
It has just lately, yeah. Stars a young lady called I'm going to mess this right up. Elvire Emanuelle? I think that's how you pronounce her name. She plays a character called Mo. She's pretty much a newcomer. You won't have seen her in anything else, I don't think. Also stars a guy whose name I'm also going to mess up. I think it's pronounced Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. He plays a character called Daryl. He's got one of those faces that you will recognise.
I did. Where do I know him from?
He's not been in a lot of stuff, but the stuff that he has been quite successful.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So he was in Aquaman.
I've not seen that, so it's not that.
He was in Us.
I've not seen that.
You've not seen Us?
No.
Oh, wow. Watch that. It's a great film. And he's also in The Greatest Showman.
I've seen that. That'll be it. That'll be it.
So it's probably that you recognise him from. And also stars a guy called Coleman Domingo, who's also got one of those faces that you probably recognise. He plays Coach Castile.
Yep.
And he has been in Fear the Walking Dead. Have you ever watched Fear the Walking Dead?
No, I think
gave up on it.
That came along about the time I stopped watching the main show.
I've watched The Walking Dead from the beginning.
Do you still watch it?
Yep, still watching it now. I think it's on season 11. I've hated it since season 4, but I just can't stop. Now I'm too deep into it now, and I can't give up. I need to see it through.
Yeah, but Kirkman's even stopped writing a comic because he got bored of it, so there's no reason for you to carry on.
I know, I'm not even invested. I don't even care about the characters or anything. To be fair though, I have fallen behind. Have you heard about their season finale?
No.
The season finale is filmed, but it's not currently edited, and obviously everybody's working from home and they're not able to do it. So they've had to postpone the season finale of The Walking Dead, and they're going to show it as a TV special later this year.
Right, okay.
That's crazy. For the biggest show, it's still the biggest show in the world. Biggest network television show in the world.
Is it? I was going to say, will anyone care? But obviously they will.
And yeah, they're not able to show their finale. It's crazy.
Do you know when I stopped watching it?
When?
I watched one episode after the baseball bat.
Oh, right. When Negan came into it.
Yeah. That was it.
Why?
Not because of that, but just never went back to it.
It got a lot worse after that.
Just never went back.
Negan's a great character, but the rest of it is just awful. Anyway, we got sidetracked there because he's not in that. He's in Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Which is a spin-off show. I did watch a few episodes of the first season. Couldn't get on board with it. I haven't got any more time for zombie films.
There's a third one coming as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
A third series.
Yeah, there is.
We don't. Oh, right. We're spending too much time on this. Whatever.
Yeah, sorry. He's also in
Fine.
Lincoln. Have you seen Lincoln?
Yes, I have a while ago. Yeah.
He's in that. He's in Selma. Have you seen that?
No.
No, not me. And he's in If Beale Street Could Talk.
Oh, you loved that, didn't you? Remember you telling me about this?
That has the current distinction of being the worst film I've ever seen. I hated every single minute of it. Every single minute.
Okay.
I don't walk out of the cinema. I've never walked out of a film. Never intend to, but that is as close as I've ever been. There's a scene in it for about 10 minutes where there's a man just looking at a lump of clay or some wood or something and imagining what he's going to make out of it. And it just stands there watching it.
So
I hated it.
Quite a highly regarded film, isn't it?
Yeah. Not by me. I hated it. Yeah, he's in that. This film was written and directed by a lady called Olivia Newman. This is her first film and is based on a short that she also wrote and directed. So somewhere out there's a short version of this film. So if you don't like the film, just watch the short version instead.
Good.
Cool. Do you have a one-word review?
Yeah, I did. I thought of it earlier and I've totally forgotten it. Give me a second. My mind's gone blank. Grapple fuck.
Good word.
Thanks.
Great word. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm going to let you have that.
Thanks. You might not find it in the dictionary.
Probably not. So this film starts with some arty images of some clothes fluttering in the wind.
That's beautiful.
It is, isn't it?
Against the blue sky.
It reminded me of a bit of American Pie. No, not American Pie. American Beauty.
Oh, God, it's going to be that sort of episode. Yes, the plastic bag in American Beauty.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to, not the pie in American Pie. But it turns out these clothes are being thrown from a window.
Yeah.
They're clothes that belong to Mo, who is our main character. And she's having an argument with what later turns out to be a foster carer, I believe.
Yes.
And she's been kicked out, basically, for sleeping with a foster carer's husband.
Yeah,
or
that's
partner.
that's the allegation anyway. Although
Yeah.
she is denying it as her possessions are raining down around her.
Yeah, she's not happy about this, and she's denying it vigorously. And then in the very next scene, she's in bed with this guy.
Yeah.
So we learn quite a bit about Mo very early on in this film. The guy gets up and he leaves her some money.
She's sleeping with him for cash, not like as in he's not hiring
She's not a
her,
hooker.
but
No.
he's like giving her stuff to
Yeah.
keep her sweet and keep his secret from his missus, I guess.
Yeah, basically.
And he's abusing his position of trust as a foster parent.
Foster carer. Yeah, definitely. And then you get a bit of a montage of the kind of neighbourhood of where they live. It's like an undesirable neighbourhood, I guess. And that's really it for the first few scenes, isn't it? And we cut to the next day and she kind of heads to school.
Yeah.
But she's not going there to be at school. She's going there to meet up with a guy called Amari.
Yeah, she goes and pulls him out of wrestling practice.
Yeah, because he's a wrestler.
Yeah, he's on the school team.
Yeah, and he is in Mr. Mercedes.
Okay.
Which is a Stephen King TV series. Have you ever watched that?
No, I've not seen that.
It's really good.
I've read the books.
Yeah.
But no, I've not seen the TV show.
He plays the young lad
Yeah.
who works for the main coat. I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry.
I know exactly which character you mean from the books, yeah.
What's his bloody name?
I can't remember.
Don't know. Anyway, he plays him.
Yeah.
It's going to come to me. I'm just going to scream it out halfway through this episode.
That's fine. Or in the middle of the night.
She needs him to trick her. She wants him to trick her way into into the ex house where she was living, so she can get her stuff back.
Yeah, she's not. Yeah, there's possessions that she needs back, and yeah, exactly as you say, he's her way in.
Yeah, so because he's like a nice guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He kind of knocks on the door and talks himself into this house, and then she bursts through the door and gets into the bedroom. She takes like a notebook, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She's not really interested in anything else, but she grabs this notebook, and they kind of get away. The lady threatens to call the police, but that doesn't happen. And as they're walking away, they're having a bit of a conversation about her dad and how he's in prison or he's gone away, I think they say.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's a good like bonding / character building scene, isn't it? So they talk about that. They talk about what they'd do if they won $1 million on the lottery.
Yeah,
and it's clear that the picture they're trying to paint with Amari and Mo is that they've been friends for a very long time.
Yeah, they're not in any sort of relationship.
No.
But they are like best friends
Yeah.
who do anything for each other. And that's kind of the relationship they build up early on.
Exactly.
As they're walking away, they bump into this man who apologises to him, and it turns out that it's her dad.
Yeah.
They have a bit of an awkward conversation, don't they? And Amari's like, when he leaves, Amari says to him, "Did you know he was out? When did he get out?" And she makes out that she did know, but obviously she didn't know.
No, he's like emptying the bins, isn't he, at a restaurant?
Yeah.
So Mo gives Daryl, her dad, her number.
Yeah.
And says,
Yeah.
you know, when you get a phone, give us a call. We'll hang out.
Yeah, because he says he hasn't got a phone because she asked for his number.
Well, first of all, she says, "Can I come and live with you?" Because I've just got chucked out of this place. And he's like, I haven't got anywhere. I've literally just got out.
Yeah, he's like, no chance. There's no way it's going to happen. So she heads to see her social worker next, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And the social worker wants to place her with a new family because I don't know how old she's supposed to be. I think they're like high school students, aren't they? So what?
Yeah.
What are we saying? 15, 16?
Yeah, but everyone in all the students look
23, 24?
Yeah, but I
Maybe
suppose
more?
at least it's consistent.
Yeah, they all look old.
Yeah.
Or older. Anyway, she gets put with this new family. She has a bit of a row with the social worker. She doesn't want to be placed with another family. She heads to school and she starts a fight at the school with this other girl.
Yeah, it's a bit of fisticuffs in the by the lockers, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of a
shoulder
catfight, isn't it?
shoulder bump turns
shoulder
into
barge
a
and scratchy eyes and pulley hair, as girls do. And she ends up getting a 3-day suspension. So she's out of school for a few days and she's wandering the streets as like a lonely soul as she does. And she catches a glimpse of her dad queuing outside a soup kitchen.
Yeah.
So he was saying that he hadn't got anywhere to live. It turns out he hasn't. He probably is homeless. And she eventually turns up at Amari's house.
Yeah, there's a bit of a montage of partying, dancing.
Yeah.
She going to a school party or whatever. And then she ends up bunking down with Amari.
Who seems to have about 6 or 7 brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
There's just kids everywhere.
There is, yeah.
I don't know. He seemed to be the oldest one. There didn't seem to be any adults about.
No.
But there was kids everywhere. He was playing a PlayStation, I think. This way I've written, they seem to just be mates because they share a bed, but nothing happens.
No, and it's a bit like, in Tom and Jerry, the cartoons, where you would only see the feet of, like, Tom's owner.
Yeah.
Well, in the morning, you just see the feet of Omari's mum.
Yeah.
And she says, come on, you've got to get up, it's time for your run.
Yeah.
Because he's on the wrestling team, he's got to go and do this training. And it just made me think of, like, Tom and Jerry, because you just see this lady's feet.
That's a great shout.
Because you're seeing it from Mo's point of view as she's lying on the bed. But it made me giggle.
So Amari goes off to school to go to his training, and she leaves, and she's wandering the streets again, and she bumps into her dad again.
Well, she kind of engineers the meeting, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's waiting around near where she knows where he works.
Yeah.
And eventually bumps into him. And out of nowhere, she just tells her dad that she's going to start wrestling on the boys' wrestling team.
She says she's already started.
Yeah.
And he kind of calls her out on it because he says, no, you don't. Not with those nails. Because she's got these, like, false nails. I thought it was a nice little touch.
Nice big luminous green fingernails.
Yeah. But then it immediately cuts to her. Yeah, she's storming into training and sort of saying, yeah, I want to try out.
I want to be on the boys' wrestling team. And the coach doesn't seem to have an issue with it. He's not like, I wouldn't say he was like inviting her in, but he gave her a chance, didn't he? He gave her a chance to try out straight away, pretty much. He didn't take any convincing.
Oh, no. He was a real positive force in this movie, actually.
Yeah, he was. So there's a bit of a montage of them all drilling and, what do they call it, practicing training.
Sure.
There's a guy called Tyson who she's training with, and she shows him up a few times because I think her dad used to be a wrestler.
That's right.
He was quite a successful wrestler, so she knows.
So he was a high school and college star. Yeah, and then it obviously all went wrong for him at some point.
Because they mentioned earlier as well that she helped Amari get into the team and helped him train when he first started, and her dad had as well.
Yeah.
So she's got a history with wrestling. She's not just walked in there out of nowhere.
Because even in like the third or fourth scene of the movie where she first went and got Amari out of training, they were walking along as they were on the way to her foster parents, and she was like giving him tips, like you were shooting in too hard and all this sort of stuff. Yeah. So she's clearly got a brain for it.
Yeah. I should probably point out that we're not talking pro wrestling here. We're talking high school wrestling, like Olympic style.
Exactly. Yeah.
Circular ring, like grabbing each other.
There's no fireworks and no smoke and all that sort of stuff.
Definitely
no face paint and tassels.
Anyway, she shows up this guy called Tyson a few times. She drops him a couple of times, doesn't she, and makes him look a bit of an idiot.
Yeah.
And this guy called Malik turns up he kind of switches out with Tyson, and he does the same to her a few times.
Yeah, and he's the boyfriend of the girl she got in a fight with in the corridor.
Yeah. And he kind of puts her back in her place, doesn't he? He's like, throws her around a bit, drops her a few times.
He's like the star of the team, isn't he?
Yeah, is he the captain?
He might be.
I think he was the captain. Cut to the one thing you get in most sports movies. She's there now, chopping her hair off and changing her look. Chops her nails off.
Yeah, the weave comes out.
The hair goes into cornrows, and she chops her luminous green nails off. She's all in on this. She's like, this is like giving her a bit of an inspiration, bit of a motive.
Yeah.
And you get a bit of a montage again, don't you? Just keep turning up for practice.
Yeah, and eventually someone has left a brand new pair of boots on her
wrestling
locker.
Boots. She's doing it barefoot all the way through.
Yeah. Someone at this point has left a pair of boots on her locker, and then there's a sort of good. I quite liked the little scenes where the team was all together, just hanging around.
Yeah,
it felt really natural.
Yeah, it really did.
They did a really good job of capturing just how these kids just hung around, and it was just really believable.
Yeah,
and there's one of those now where all the guys are sort of asking, "Oh, was you? We hear your dad was this huge star, and is he going to come along on Saturday for the first match?" And she's like, "Yeah, he'll definitely be there."
Yeah.
I just found that I thought the interactions and the chemistry between all the kids was really good.
Yeah, they are. They're all really good in it. Actually, we missed a bit where she wrestled Amari and beat him.
Oh yeah.
Because she, in like a training match, it was to get who was going to get on the team, and she beat him. like straight out, and that's why they're all together afterwards, because they're all ribbing him for losing to a girl.
That's right. Yeah,
and he kicked off from there. So yeah, she says her dad will be at the match. She's not even asked him; he doesn't know anything about it yet. But she's trying to like save face in front of the boys, I guess.
Yeah.
So she goes and meets up with her dad again and tells him the news that she's got into the team and she's got her first match on Saturday. She also tells her social worker and her foster mother, because at this point they
because they're talking about moving her to a different place.
Yeah, a different school, a different area.
And she's like, yeah, it's too far from my school. I've just joined a team. Give me another chance, sort of thing. Because Mo will not talk or acknowledge this new foster parent that she's got, who's like a Spanish lady.
Yeah.
So I think she's on their last chance, isn't she? Basically.
Yeah, it looks like it, and they seem to give her the chance because she doesn't get moved.
Yeah.
And she does go to the matches. So in the very next scene, we go to our first wrestling meet, and you see a bit of a montage of all the boys having their matches, and then it's time for her match, and her dad hasn't shown up yet. But just as she gets in the ring, his timing's immaculate.
Amazing.
Because he just wanders through the door.
You've got to allow that pure bit of sports movie trope.
Yeah, of course you have. And she wins. It's a bit of a struggle. She gets taken down a couple of times.
Yeah, it's a bit of a come from behind victory, isn't it? Because she gets she takes a bad bump to her head, doesn't she? At one point.
Yeah.
And everything goes a bit fuzzy.
Yeah, she kind of focuses on her dad shouting at her, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And eventually ends up winning the match. So her dad goes out and buys her dinner afterwards.
Yep.
I say dinner, it's like a pizza.
Go back to his hovel.
Yeah, he's kind of living in like a bedsit with like a load of other blokes.
Yeah.
And this is where he tells her that he's got this plan and he's going to move to North Carolina and buy a car wash.
Yeah, he's going in 50-50 with another guy who's due to come out of prison any day.
Yeah.
And he sort of tells her that he's only working with this other guy who we've seen a couple of times. This like blinged up guy with a grill.
Yeah.
He's obviously a drug dealer.
Yeah, obviously. He might as well have just wore a t-shirt that said, I am a drug dealer.
Basically, yeah. It was not subtle whatsoever.
Not at all.
And he says, I'm just working to get some money to survive until whoever it is gets out and we can go for this car wash.
Yeah. And then you get there's a proper wrestling montage now of her having matches and her having training sessions and her having like little scuffs with her dad as well.
Yeah.
Because he's like fully on board with this now. They've got something in common. Because I don't think they've had much of a relationship during their life. But now they've got something in common. He's fully in. He's all in on getting to know her, which is exactly what she wanted.
Yeah, and
her mission is accomplished.
So far, so Rocky.
Yeah, definitely.
Pick whichever sports movie you want. This is ticking every dot to dot that you've ever seen so far.
Yeah, I was going to get into this later, but a lot of sports movies are the same, aren't they? You get the same format all the way through, and this very much sticks to that.
I don't want to necessarily say if that's a criticism or not.
No, not at all.
But that's where we are at this point. Yeah,
that's what sports movies are. It's just a fact. There's no getting around it. But in most of these matches during this montage, she seems to be winning. She seems to be being quite successful.
Yeah, she's doing well.
Yeah, and it's changing her personal life a little bit as well, because she's not forging a relationship with her foster mother, but it isn't as icy and frosty as it was.
No.
It turns out her foster mum is trying to adopt a baby that she's currently fostering. There's another social worker there talking about how she thinks she'll be successful. But they obviously ask Mo some questions about what she's like living there. And she doesn't dismiss it out of hand, which earlier on in the film she would have done.
Just at that point, I'll cut in to talk about I don't have the lady's name who plays the Spanish foster mum.
No, not
She's got maybe not even 3 lines. She probably says 3 words in this movie.
Yeah. Mostly in Spanish as well.
But I thought she was really good.
So she was.
This bit that you're talking about now, there is a look that she gives Mo. And it's all done. It's wordless. It's all done just with her eyes. And she gives her this look, and it absolutely pleads to Mo, will you say something nice?
Yeah.
So that I can, that they'll give us this baby into the family as well to look after. I just thought she was really good. There was quite a few really good performances in this.
Yeah. It was almost like a begging, wasn't it? That you could see the begging in her eyes of, don't mess this up for me. And Mo doesn't say anything nice, but she doesn't say anything horrible.
Exactly. And that's a win for her.
That's a character development right there. Because earlier on in the film, she would have.
Yeah.
Goes back to see her dad again after that, and he's brought her some new boots.
They are
got some Nikes from somewhere.
Some sweet kicks.
Yeah, blue and pink ones. He's kind of... Is he working in a car park? Is it a car park?
So this...
I wasn't sure what it was that he was doing.
Yeah, 'cause he mentions it a bit later on that he has to go back there. So it's this Juan guy.
Juan.
I am a drug dealer, Juan. Also has got a business where he's got a load of car lots across the city. Yeah. So, Daryl's basically guarding one of them.
So security guarding.
/ selling drugs to people who come by.
Yeah. But he's managed to get her some boots from somewhere. And they have a bit of a bonding session in this car lot, don't they? And they have a bit of a wrestle again. And you can tell they're really getting closer.
Yeah.
Which is, again, exactly what she wanted.
They lock up, have a wrestle, and then he stops to deal some drugs.
Yeah.
And then he comes back and does a bit more of a wrestle.
Yeah. Mo wins another match. We cut back to the wrestling matches again.
There's a really weird exchange at this point, which didn't seem to fit in anywhere else with anything else that happened. So between Daryl and the coach.
Yeah, there was.
Because the coach is like, "Oh, Mo's doing great. I'm taking them all out for dinner. Do you want to come with us?" And then Daryl's like, "No." And she's like, "But you just said we were going out. Why don't you come with us?" And he's just like, "I can't. I've got to go back to the car lot." And it was just really weird and out of place.
Yeah, it was a bit strange.
Why was he turning it down? It just didn't make sense to me. It really stuck out. It was odd.
It was almost like he wanted to get away and he'd found a reason to not take Mo with him, which is what he wanted.
But it almost felt like there was a subplot that had been cut out that he already knew the coach, because they were really antagonistic towards each other.
Yeah, they were. They weren't friendly, were they? But with no... Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. There was no real reason why they wouldn't be.
It was just really stuck out. I thought it was odd.
So she hangs out with the team a little bit more. And you get one of those scenes where everybody's like bonding and bantering with each other. And then the next night, she meets up with her dad again, and he takes her to this like underground fight club place.
That's exactly what I've written. She goes to a fight club.
But it's girls fighting. And there's blokes on the outside like betting on it.
Our old friend Juan to be running it. He's a multitasker, this guy is, I tell you.
He is. He's got his fingers in all the pies. And these two girls in this, you see this one fight, and these two girls just beat the piss out of each other.
This is bare knuckle, dirty.
This is proper fighting in a ring, no holds barred. I think they have a bit of an argument, don't they? And he ends up storming out this time.
No, it's because it's. I've been quite critical. Sound like I've been quite critical so far. This is another bit that stuck out as because again, I thought the guy who played Daryl was really good. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. I thought he was really good. But the two bits that stuck out are the conversation he's just had with the coach, and then I don't think this bit was very good, where he does the whole, "Oh, I've got something, but I'll ask you, but oh no, I'm going to ask you, but oh no, I can't ask you. I was going to ask you if you'd do 2 fights because we'd make enough money for the car wash because whatever his name has been denied his parole." And it was really like ham-fisted.
Yeah.
Whether it's the writing wasn't quite right, but considering that everything else, I've talked about how good the chemistry was and believable, this bit just really stuck out again. There
are a couple of bits in this film where it does veer off course a little bit, and you're right, that is one of them. But she's like no, and he ends up storming out. And
because he's like, I knew I shouldn't have asked you.
Yeah. We don't see him again for a little while because she goes off and she's training with Amari again, and they get into a bit of a row as well, and she ends up slagging his mum off. She said something horrible about his mum, and so he walks away from her as well, and she's kind of pushing everybody away for no reason.
She loses her next match, so it's the first match she loses for the high school team.
Yeah.
And coach again, sort of after, he's like, yeah, look, what's the phrase he uses? It doesn't matter if you lose. It's
no such thing as losing, just winning and learning.
There you go.
I wrote that down. That's my favourite line from the film. I thought it was really good. It's very true as well. And yeah, but it's Malik that actually says that to her.
Okay. But it's coach's words, yeah.
Yeah, it's coach's words, but they're on the bus after the matches, and he comes to try and make her feel better. And he said, don't just think about what coach always says. He always says no such thing as losing, just winning and learning. And he mentions that his dad's never seen him wrestle. So she should be happy that, because she lost because her dad didn't show up. I think that's
she's got the whole like female fight club thing on her mind.
On her mind as well, yeah.
Because we then go into a montage of like fight club plus her wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely wants her to fight, and he starts teaching her like strikes and things like that, doesn't he? Things you wouldn't normally learn at wrestling training. He's trying to teach her to do. And she, in the meantime, you get a bit of a montage again of her losing matches now. This is obviously playing on her mind a little bit too much because she's losing and losing and losing. Probably 3 or 4 matches she lost in this montage. She did win a couple as well, but she did lose.
There was even a bit, wasn't it, in one of her high school wrestling matches where she like pops up off the floor and she goes into like a fighting stance, like with her guard up. Yeah. And like the refs instantly like storm in, don't they? It's like because she's getting her training mixed up. You know, sort of. She's got so much on her mind, she doesn't know where she is.
Yeah, she didn't know what she is. Yeah. As soon as it finishes on a fight, and they get on the bus, and as they get off the bus, her dad like drags her straight away, doesn't he? So
they've got one basically. The team, whether I don't know whether she won or lost that one, but the team won.
Yeah.
They're one event away from going to the regionals, finals, whatever they call it.
Yeah. And he grabs her straight off the bus and he drags her to her first fight. He's like straight, and she's literally straight off the bus straight to it. She even fights in her high school wrestling gear.
Yeah.
Sorry, my earphones keep falling off. I don't know why.
Losing weight on your head.
I'm definitely not losing weight anywhere, mate. I went to Asda tonight and brought 2 Easter eggs, along with a lot of other stuff. I didn't just go for Easter eggs.
They're only about 40p, aren't
50p. Yeah, they're a bargain.
There you go.
Anyway, where do we get to?
The fight. She's going to her first girl
fight. So she goes to her first fight, and Amari follows her. So he notices her dad drag her straight off this bus.
Yeah, he's a smart cookie.
He is. He's a good lad. And
he sneaks in.
He sneaks into the underground fighting ring, and he watches her first fight, and it's quite brutal.
Yeah.
Did you not think?
Yeah, so Mo takes a big sort of haymaker straight away.
Yeah, she takes a bit of a kick in.
But she sort of turns it around quite quickly and knocks her opponent out.
She does. She knocks her opponent clean out and wins the match. But afterwards, Amari is not happy. He comes over and he confronts her straight away, doesn't he? He's like, "What the hell are you doing? Coach is going to notice those bruises on your face. What are you thinking?" Is basically what he's saying to her.
And then Daryl comes over then and says, "Why did you tell him we were doing this?"
He kind of scares Amari away, doesn't he? As soon as Daryl comes over, Amari's gone.
Mo defends him and says, "Like, he's followed me himself. I didn't tell him."
Yeah,
she knows what the first rule of Fight Club is, and. And then she's really annoyed because Daryl tells her that they only got 500 for the fight.
Yeah.
And
which was supposed to be a lot more than that, I think.
You'd be getting $1,000 at least.
Yeah.
And he's like, this was your tryout, no, all these excuses start coming out straight away.
Yeah, he's a bit of a no good, this guy, isn't he?
Sure.
In the very next scene, the coach is with Mo and he confronts her about what's going on with her face. Because she's covered in bruises and cuts all over her face now.
Foster mother, Spanish lady, sort of ships her in straight away. She sort of finds her the next morning. She's like, "Oh, what have you been doing?"
Yeah, that's basically what. And she tells him that some girls confronted her at the parking lot where her dad works. And he does kind of buy it. I don't think he completely believed it, but it was a good enough excuse for him to not have to look into it any further, I think is what the answer was.
He doesn't want to give up on her, does he?
No, exactly.
I don't think he believes her, but he thought he was close to bringing her around, didn't he?
Yeah.
So she's getting a fair crack of the whip, it's got to be said.
Yeah, definitely. Cut to another party scene. They're at Malik's house now, and they're having the team are all there, having a bit of a celebration, get together.
Yeah.
And I can't remember how, but she somehow ends up in Malik's bedroom.
He takes... This is not a euphemism. He takes her to show Mo all his medals.
Right, okay. That old line.
Yeah. He says, "Come on, I want to show you something." And he shows her all his winnings from the mat.
Yeah, the mat. And they have a bit of a kiss, don't they?
They do have a smooch.
And they're about to do a lot more. They're about to get down and do some naughty. But unfortunately, his girlfriend walks in.
Yeah. She makes the interception before they can reach the bone zone.
Very much so. So she kicks off, she slaps him. Amari confronts her and tells her that she's pregnant, which came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was
not
weird
mentioned
well.
again.
No. No.
It's like, what are you doing? She's pregnant.
By the way, Malik's missus is pregnant.
Yeah.
Never comes up again.
No, it doesn't. She's never even in the film again.
No.
It's really weird. Amari basically calls her a slag, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And she slaps him and leaves.
She goes straight to Fight Club.
Yep, she does.
She basically says to her dad, let's do it. How many fights are it going to take so we can get the hell out of here?
Yeah.
As in out of town.
Yeah. Cut to the next day, she's at wrestling training and she decides that she's had enough of it. She leaves. She tells the coach she's having female issues.
Yeah.
Which obviously no coach is ever going to question. So she just leaves. Amari eyeballs her leaving. And she's texting her dad, but they do this thing again where you can read the text messages on the phone screen. But I ain't got a chance in hell of doing that. I don't know if you did.
I think he says, I'm only going from memory here, so I'm paraphrasing. It is something like, "You're up tomorrow. Be ready. I'll let you know what time we're fighting." Basically.
Yeah, there was a chance I would have got up off the sofa and tried to read them, but it wasn't happening.
Coincidentally, because this is coming to the climax of the film, she also has the last match with the wrestling team to try and get to finals.
Yes, it's all happening at once, a la sports movie. A foster mum offers to paint her nails for her because they're building a bit of a relationship up.
They are.
She paints her nails, even though she's not allowed to have painted nails for the wrestling.
Well, no. So, my knowledge of
females wrestling on boys wrestling.
No. Of nails isn't the best. But what she says to the Spanish foster lady, "I can't have fake nails," and she's like, "No, I'm just gonna paint them."
Got ya. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. So she can't have the talons.
And we head to the big match. The big wrestling match is now. Malik has a bit of a chat with her, and he thinks that her dad did her bruises on her face.
Yeah.
But she doesn't deny it, but she also doesn't clarify. Her dad shows up, ready to watch what's going on, and the foster mother shows up as well.
No, dad doesn't turn up to do that. So the foster mother turns up on one side of the hall. The dad turns up on the other side of the hall. And she, so Daryl, the dad, he just sort of taps.
He's trying to get
taps
her out.
his watch, and she looks at her phone. And she's got like 6 missed calls from him, and he's like, "We need to go. Your fight. We've got to get to your fight."
Yeah, she's kind of split now between the wrestling and the fighting, and she chooses the fighting.
Yeah, she leaves the gym.
Yeah, she leaves the gym, walks out before her match, and packs all her shit up and leaves, which forfeits the game for the rest of the team.
No. So
no, you are wrong.
So Mo leaves match, and Malik.
Yeah.
Was it Malik or Amari? I'm not sure. One of them follows down the corridor and says, "You can't go now. We need to win one more to get to finals."
Yeah.
And she says, "Well, it's not going to be me who wins it."
Right. Okay. It was Amari that walked out after her.
So he's like substitute. So basically, he's going to be going in. And Mo also goes, so before they go to Fight Club, she goes back to the foster house and takes all her stuff. She says, "I can't come back here now either."
Yeah, her foster mother had just turned up to watch her fight.
Yeah.
So she takes all her shit with her to the match, doesn't she, in a bin bag?
Yeah.
And she goes to this fight, and is it a dad that says to her, "If you win this match, it'll be $5,000"?
Yes.
And she gets in this ring with this big old bruiser of a woman. All her stuff's been hidden under the ring. She's getting her ass kicked. She's getting her ass handed to her, basically, isn't it?
Absolutely. She's and the makeup department's coming to the the fore here.
Very much so.
She's not looking good.
It even gets to the point where her dad's screaming at her for her to quit.
He says, "Yeah, to go stay down," basically.
Yeah. At the end of the round, he says to her, "Next time she hits you, go down and stay down." But she says, "No, I'm not a quitter. I can't do that."
He says, "You're not ready for this yet."
Yeah. So, and as soon as the round starts again, she gets knocked down again, and her dad's begging her to stay down, but she gets up, and eventually she wins.
Yeah, it's a proper, like I say, it's the proper ending to Rocky.
It really is. Yeah, she gets the shit kicked out of her, but goes back in with a few big hits and ends up winning the match. She kind of mounts this woman, don't she? And she's just pummeling her face at the end. But just as the announcer announces that she's won, the cops all show up.
It's a raid.
There's a raid going on, and there's sirens and blue flashy lights everywhere. And her dad says, "Look, I'm going to leg it. You've got to leg it. Get out of here."
Yeah, he's like, she's begging at this point. She's got an eye shut. She's in a bad way. She's like, "I need you. Help me."
Yeah,
you can't.
I've got nowhere to go. All my shit's still in there under the ring, and you can't just leave me here. And he just legs it. He runs off.
Dad says, "I can't be caught in this.
Yeah,
we'll catch up later." And he does one.
Yeah, he just leaves her.
What a bastard.
she has no choice. She's got to go back because all her stuff's in this room where the ring is. So she goes back for her stuff and she ends up hiding under the ring as the cops come in and like search the place. Yeah. And that's all we really see. We just see her hiding under the ring. And the very next time you see her, she's waiting outside Amari's flat.
These cops are shit.
Yeah, they are.
They've obviously not found her.
They've obviously never watched wrestling because the first thing you do is look under the ring.
Sure.
She's waiting outside Amari's flat and she's got her head in her hands and she's crying. And he kind of just sits down next to her and hugs her, doesn't he? He's the good friend. Because he could have ditched her. No, she's just screwed over his wrestling team and his college chances and all sorts. But he just sits there and hugs her. She meets up with a coach.
So the whole of the rest, she wakes up when she comes round, the whole of the rest of the team are by her bedside. Yeah. Including coach.
Yeah.
And she asks him if we won. She says, did we win?
Yeah.
And they say, yeah, Omari won. We're going to the finals.
The coach says that he's going to have to report her dad to the police. He's like, I'm legally obliged to do that, and she begs him not to.
Yeah.
And basically he doesn't. She begs him enough that he doesn't do it. And Amari says that his mum says that she can stay with them as long as she wants. And she goes back to see the foster mum, doesn't she? And she apologises to her. They meet up somewhere. They meet in a laundrette or something.
Yeah, but Coach is there as well. And Coach is kind of,
he's kind of taken her under his wing now.
Yeah, he's off school time here. Most definitely. And he's obviously, maybe he can speak Spanish. Because
possibly.
It seems like he's convinced the foster lady to give her one last chance. And Mo apologises to her.
Yeah, Mo gives her the big old apology, doesn't she? And she gives her some pearl earrings back that she had stolen earlier in the film.
Which she denied several times of having.
Yeah, loads of times. So they kind of have their bit of bonding moment, don't they? And they do make up.
Yeah.
And then this like undercurrent stories going on of this baby trying to be adopted. Her actual mum shows up and takes the baby back. And you get this really touching scene of Mo kind of comforting the foster mother.
Hold hands, don't they?
They just hold hands.
It was nice. It was.
That was the full character development now. That character's gone from one thing to a completely different. And that was just the sign of that happening.
Yeah, it was a really good moment. I'm going to give a shout out because I do think, her performance was really good. So Kim Ramirez plays, the character's credited as Lucilia, but I'm sure you never hear that.
I don't think you ever get the name.
Like I say, considering she had 3 words in this movie, I thought she was really good.
Yeah, I agree. I'd written it down as well to mention it that she was really good. In the next scene after that, the coach sits the whole team down in the gym, and he starts to debate on whether Mo should be suspended or not for the finals. And he says, "Look, you guys decide. It's your team. You decide. Do you want her there or not?" So they have a bit of a discussion about it, don't they? And eventually, they unanimously decide that she's in.
Yeah,
they're like, she's served us well all season. Everybody makes mistakes. There are basically a bunch of great guys.
Yeah. They're just really, really nice guys.
Yeah. So, cut to being on the bus for finals, and they're all there. And Amari comes up and says, "I think you've got my bag." And it turns out she has. And she's left her bag in the gym because she's ditzy. So she goes back for it, but it turns out this whole thing is a ruse to try and get her dad back into the film.
Yeah.
So he shows up just as she's coming back out of the gym, and he basically wants her to fight again.
This is the first time he has seen her since he ditched her at the raid.
He does kind of apologise, but he's very...
But now his new idea, forget the car wash, he's like, I'm going to start my own fight club. You're going to be like the star, we'll do... But then he starts... She doesn't say anything, so he just ties himself in knots because he's like, you only have to do 2, 3, 4, 8 fights.
So she's just done with him, isn't she? She walks off. She walks away from him. And she gets back on the bus and she sits down and you can see him kind of in the background. But then, and you think, oh, that's it. She's kind of cut ties with him. But then she runs back and she hugs him. You feel like, oh, she's changed her mind. She's going to go back with him now. What's going on? And she just gives him this notebook that she found in her bedroom earlier, right at the beginning of the film. And she's been carrying it around this whole time. Didn't really understand what it was. I presume it was his old...
So it's his notebook?
His old wrestling notebook.
And it's where it was a bit of a diary. It was training notes. It was where he doodled like sketches and his nickname because he was like the king. That was his wrestling nickname. And she'd kept it safe for all this time. And she was kind of giving it back to him,
Yeah,
and it was obviously the whole symbolism of, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah, I'm done with you. I'm done with this.
Yeah.
So she kind of pushes it into his chest, and she turns around and walks back onto the bus, and the bus drives away, and the film ends.
Yeah, and she's obviously sort of tearing up and emotional, and that's it.
Yeah. What did you think?
I enjoyed it.
I did. I really enjoyed it.
I was really impressed. I think performance-wise, this had some of the best performances we've seen for a long time.
Yeah, agreed.
I've said, yeah, it was a bit clunky at times, some of the writing and a couple of the scenes, but I thought on the whole, performance is really good. I think once we got in female fight club thing, it separated from 100 other sports movies that I've seen before, because I was not expecting that turn of events. Yeah,
because it could have easily just been her dad trying to distract her away from wrestling and then her going back to it, but it wasn't that in the end. It was a film about her character developing from what it was at the beginning to what it was at the end was completely different. And the way they told that story was through wrestling, and it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of... I wasn't expecting to. It was one of those films where I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this one when I put it on. By the end of it, I was like, oh, I did actually get a lot out of that. More than I was expecting.
Strength of performances really, really pulled this up a level.
Yeah.
The scene where you're in the gym, the high school gym, and she's trying to decide, do I go with my dad to this fight club or do I stay with my team? I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I'm a bit similar. I wasn't particularly looking forward to watching this, but it really hooked me. Yeah. Got me in the full Nelson, and I wanted to. I didn't want to tap out.
No, I couldn't agree more. I really enjoyed it. I think a lot of people would get a lot out of this.
I think the lead. So was it Elvire Emanuelle who played Mo? Yeah. I thought she was awesome.
Yeah, she was. Everybody in it was really good. There's not a bad performance in this film.
The last scene where she's on the bus just crying, I thought was great.
Yeah, it was quite emotional, wasn't it?
Really strong.
Yeah, it was.
But it's probably not for everyone.
No, probably not. There's an audience there for it.
I'm not sure. Although I'm not sure how much I would recommend it to people. I could see a lot of people not liking this. That's what I'm trying to say.
It wouldn't have been a film that I would have picked to put on normally if it wasn't for this show. And I don't think you would have either. Yeah.
I think there's a bit of a cultural thing here because, especially in the UK, I know you can apply this sort of sports movie template to almost any sport, but wrestling is not a thing over here. High school, it's not a thing at all. No. Which, for me, is why I think the strength of the performance is important.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's worth watching for that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. You're right. There's no market for it in the UK, which is probably why it's at the bottom of the stream.
Yeah.
I think if you put it on, you're going to be rewarded with a half-decent family sports film, but also quite a gritty, dark drama.
It's not... you mean as in a family drama. It's not for families to watch.
Not for families, not at all. No,
there's enough F-bombs in this to see
don't
forever.
Kids watch it. No, I mean, it's about families and...
It was grittier than I expected as well.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Again, just going from the sort of trailer I watched before and the description, I did wonder if this was going to be a bit of a... Because we've seen a few of the, where we've compared them as sort of TV movies.
Yeah.
And I thought this might have that sort of thing about it. And to be fair, it didn't at all.
No, it really wasn't. It felt like a proper film, didn't it? It was,
yeah.
I can imagine... It's the sort of film that if it had been released in the cinema, it would have been an unlimited screening for Cineworld. It's one of those sort of film lovers' film, is what it is, I would say.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, very much enjoyed it. Go out and watch it. If you've not already watched it, go out and watch it. Have you got a trivia question for me, Nicholas?
Yeah, I've got two.
I've got two as well. I'm not falling into that trap.
No. Okay, cool. So it doesn't really matter who goes first then?
No. Do you want me to, or do you want
to? Go on, you go. I think I went first last week, so...
Okay, I'm going to go with this one. Quite early on in the film, when she first meets her dad, he's working in a restaurant, like a cafe. Yep. Do you know the name of the place he was working?
It's the Irie Caribbean.
Well done. I take it that was going to be one of yours.
It was, but I always like when the word gets used, because when I went to Jamaica, it was all everyone says, so...
Nice. The full name was the Irie Caribbean Kitchen and Bakery.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Irie means it's just a word that means good, great, how are you? It means 100 different things. It's
oh, really?
Yeah, it's cool.
Good knowledge.
Okay.
So what's that? Is that 2 to you now?
Yeah.
2 out of 4. Well done.
Oh, it's not
See
bad.
if I can keep up with you.
Okay, so mine's pretty simple, I think.
Okay.
What was the school wrestling team called?
That was my other question. We both wrote 2 questions and we both wrote the same 2 questions. What are the chances of that? They were the Hedgeman Huskies.
They were, well done.
That's weird. We're so alike that we're going to have to start writing 3 or 4 questions each.
Yeah, I'm going to have to up my game, I think.
2 all after 4 episodes. Happy with that. I'll take that. I'd have took that at the start of the season.
Yeah.
I suppose all that leaves us to do is pick next week's film then, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. Oh,
I'd quite like something a little bit more.
We should probably do the stream table.
Oh, shit. How did we forget the stream
I don't
table?
know.
Where does this go on the stream table now?
I think that's tough.
I do as well.
Part of me wants to say it's the best film we've seen out of the 4.
Yeah.
Like,
I could hear that argument.
Technically and performance-wise.
Performance-wise, definitely.
I think there's more good performances in this than in anything else we've seen in our fledgling series so far. But did I enjoy this as much as last week's movie, A Bad Day for the Cut? No, I don't think I did.
I don't think I did either. I think A Bad Day for the Cut is a much more enjoyable piece of like bubblegum film that you can just sit and watch.
My gut.
This takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
And it isn't as enjoyable, but it's a great film, but it's not as enjoyable to sit down. I don't think I'd recommend people just sit down on a Saturday night and watch it with a pizza or whatever. It's one of those films you just got to sit down and enjoy.
It is quite a gritty, not exhausting, but it is takes something out of you, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's a bit like Burning Sands from last year.
It's better
It's
than
a half decent film. It's better than that, but I mean, it's a half decent film, but you feel exhausted by the end of it, and it's mentally draining. It's not an enjoyable Saturday night sit with a pizza and a Magnum and enjoy it. Whereas I think Bad Day for the Cut is
pizza and a Magnum. Is that your recipe for a movie snack?
That's a good Saturday night in, mate.
Yeah, I think second then.
I agree. I think Bad Day for the Cut stays in at number 1.
Yeah, just above
This
Ark.
goes second.
Oh right, okay.
No, Ark's at the bottom where it belongs, just above Take Me. So it's Ark, Take Me, First Match, Bad Day for the Cut is the current stream table.
You've read them in reverse order, but that's fine.
I have, yeah. I don't know why, but yeah.
You've gone from 4 to 1.
Happy with that?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, then let's pick next week's film, shall we?
Let's do it.
I'm hoping for something a little bit lighter this week.
Yeah, something a bit lighter after those. The last 3 have been quite intensive.
All right, let me find the app.
Like all completely different genres, but quite full on.
Right, I'm going to press the button. Are you ready?
Go for it.
It's picked a film called Deadly Detention.
Okay.
Any ideas?
Well, just go from the title. I'm guessing schlocky comedy horror.
Okay. This is weird. On Netflix, it's called Deadly Detention.
Okay.
On IMDb, it's called The Detained.
Right, okay.
But the poster says Deadly Detention. That's really weird. Do you want the synopsis?
Yes, please.
5 high school students are having Saturday detention in a former correctional facility and must find a way to outsmart an unseen menace out to kill them.
Great. It's like The Breakfast Club with murderers.
What was that one ages ago with Elijah Wood in it?
I don't know.
A bit like that. The Faculty.
Oh, yeah.
Nick?
Yeah.
This film's only rated at 3.4 out of 10.
Oh, here we go.
So that could be quite interesting.
Now I'm excited.
Me too. So yeah, go and check out Deadly Detention and come back and talk to me about it next week.
I will. Let's. Some of you do that as well, and let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know what you think of. If you've seen it already, let us know what you think. If not, go out and watch it, and we'll be back next week to talk about it.
Cheers.
Bye.